Today's video is going to be a combination of yesterday's video and the day before, and then the day before that as well, because I have a kind of backlog of video clips and things that I can't really separate. Well, I could, but I'm just going to bung them all together. Transitface, having a little trip out in Transitface, not actually going very far. I'm here. I've just been to Rovo Reviver, where I've received a gift of niceness, and it's on the back of the truck, although you can't really see it because the sun is glaring quite aggressively. I believe it's time for me to introduce you to Project Marjorie. This is a Rover 216 GTI from 1990. It's a little rough around the edges and it's currently a non-runner, but I have absolutely no reason to be upset by any of that, and you'll soon find out why. It's been sat for about a year, this car, so it's very, very dusty. There are a few blemishes such as that and a couple of dents here and there. This car is 31 years old, so obviously we can forgive it a few dings here and there. Lovely Rover combination of red sporty bits and woody bits and a kind of a grey brown interior, but these seats are actually quite nice condition. In fact, it's all rather respectable in here. And look at the headlining. The headlining's good as well. That's always a lovely bonus to see. A non-sagging headline. That was a bit too much, wasn't it? The 216 GTI is a very different car to the 416 GTI. It's a much sportier feel. The seats, for example, have these clampy bits there to pull you in on your internals as you spin round corners. But it's great to see a standard car not lowered or anything. The horn doesn't work. In the boot we can see it's all completely dry, but then it would be. It's been stored indoors, isn't it? So it doesn't get damp indoors. Inside there's a few spare bits, and look at this for some paperwork. That's amazing. What an amazing amount of paperwork. Normally you get a V5 and maybe a couple of MOT certificates and a receipt for some work that was done on a different car, but this is a box full of paperwork. Amazing. Under the bonnet we have the D16 twin cam Honda engine that currently doesn't want to work properly. I'm not the best person to try and figure this out, but as I've found out before, sometimes not having the usual mechanical knowledge can be to your advantage, because you happen to think of something that nobody else would think of. And I've got that kind of brain. Well, you know I have, don't you? Because I have this rather silly channel. Let's investigate what's inside the box. Magazine. More magazines. I'll enjoy reading that later. This could come in handy. The size of that. Well, there we go. It's running. Just a bit lumpily. Engine check light on, and that's the symptoms, but at least it starts. Go, 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 let's go to Tesco. Woo-hoo! Going to Tesco's the highlight week. Now, here's a question. What do you suppose is inside this box? Good answer, educated answer. but not quite. Keys, 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 and a spoon. The keys are the keys to my car, and the spoon is the key to my stomach, along with this chili. So, Project Marjorie. I might just have found the solution with the help of somebody who knows what they're doing. So somebody else may have found the solution, but it is just a possibility at the time. Now, here's how I can find out. This is the engine of Project Max. And this is the engine of Project Marjorie. And as you can see, they are exactly the same. Having one that works perfectly and one that doesn't work perfectly means I can find out why the one that doesn't work perfectly with the one that works perfectly. That's the theory anyway. Tomorrow is the 1st of March, and what I'd quite like to make a tradition of is having a new car every month. Not a new one, but a different one. So Max can have a month off, and I can spend my month driving. Every time I see Nigel, I just think, that looks so cool. As cool as it looks though, it's not going back on the road just yet. Might be another few weeks or so. You know, I'm going to use something a little bit more sedate, I think. There we go. My MG ZR in a subtle shade of yellows. What better car to drive around on a lovely sunny day like this than a bright yellow MG ZR? It's perfect. It's exactly what the doctor ordered. Not sure what this doctor practices, but that's what he said. As vivid as the ZR is, it's not as eye-catching as Nigel. That's as eye-catching as a toenail that's pinged off the wrong direction. One of my reasons for deciding to use the custard missile in the month of March is because I've still got it. Quite often I'll sell a car off the back of the no-nonsense sales pitch. This time it's not really worked. So there's a Facebook ad, and I've had quite a lot of inquiries. But this kind of car seems to attract the kind of people that are not really very serious. I'll give you an example. I could give you 10 examples. Today, is this available? Yes. What is it? Engine 1.4. Whoever it was, Steve Hunt, had left the conversation. Not particularly polite. About a week back, somebody offered me £300 for it and said I only need it for advertising. Well, how does that help me? And I got called a knobhead and blocked. That's the kind of thing that knobheads do, is block people for asking a question that's a lot less stupid than the one that they've just asked. Maybe this person realised what a stupid question it was, what a stupid suggestion it was to say I only need it for advertising, so therefore I don't want to give you £700, but I'll give you £300. Well, yeah, give me a nice big cut in your business, and fair enough, we have a deal. But it never came to that. Chances are they're not the kind of person you want to be in business with anyway. I do quite like driving this actually. It makes me feel just a little bit like a boy racer. Bright yellow, rock hard suspension and bucket seats. They're all boy racer things, aren't they? And I'm not a boy racer. I'm a man racer. I do things the manly way, and that is to drive quickly without crashing into lampposts. It's a bit of a concern actually, because I missed the R8 already. That 416 with an automatic box suits me. Alfie, I really like that one, that suits me. Nigel, that suits me. But for some reason, I feel like this one does as well. And now I'm concerned about personality disorders. Project Kev. What kind of name is Kev? Kev's not a gentlemanly name, is it? I've got a friend called Kev. He's quite gentlemanly, but he's also a lunatic. He's not a lunatic, he's just got a very strange sense of humour. So, Transitface is needed to move that diesel engine over there because it's way too heavy to move on this ground, and Project Frank and Project Derek as well. And I used Transitface yesterday, and today nothing, no power whatsoever. What did I do wrong yet again? I cannot believe that. I've completely killed the battery off by not switching the fan off. I'm already dashing about trying to get stuff done here today, so I could do without that. This is not going well. This is hooked up to the truck battery again, as usual. Direct to the battery as well, rather than at the front where you don't seem to get quite as good a connection. And it's not enough to get it going. I tried it with the car and it's not enough to get it going. What do I do next? I need the truck. I need it now. I can't get the car to the battery side of the truck, so there's only really one thing I can do. All this just for an engine. Let's hope the chap turns up. So, while I'm waiting for this chap to turn up, I need to move this M47 engine. And it's far too heavy and dug in the ground to do anything with by myself. Yeah. This is a very uneven surface, so trying to pull the engine crane like that is really almost impossible. Good. I didn't waste my time moving this and that from here, because a chap has just bought an M series engine that I had stored under a bucket down there. 1:45. So from 9 o'clock to 1:45, that's nearly 3 hours. What's happened? All I've managed to do is move 2 cars and flog an engine. Yet that's all my time taken up. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. No, actually, just figure it out. I need to do something else. Jasper, all 4 wheels are off the floor. Yeah, I don't actually fancy climbing under there with these axle stands, having moved so much. Axle stands are all well and good, but of course they don't work at both ends, because as soon as you start to jack the other end of the car up, the car moves, and then before you know it, it's going to fall off onto your delicate little bonds. I want to jack the back up as far as possible so I can get the wheels underneath the tyres, but these obviously are in risk of collapsing, so bricks under there, and it'll reduce some of the drama. Maybe you'd like to see some drama, but I would too, but it's just going to be an inconvenience having to jack it all back up again. Yeah, like that. Got to start again now. This axle stand cracked a little bit under the weight of that car, so I probably shouldn't really use that too often now. Now this is going to be interesting. Everything I've done in this car so far has been either slightly interesting or just a tiny bit dangerous, and today could be the same, because I now need to move it away from all these doors over there and the gearbox that's right next to it, with no clutch. Started the engine just to activate the power steering. Yep, that's all good. Now I'm going to switch it back off again, put it into first gear, and yeah, and that. Now, you may well be wondering why I want to be underneath this car in the first place. Well, I'll tell you. I am filming from the toilet because it's raining. Jasper there has quite a lot of issues that would need sorting out to make it a good car again. Both sills, rear suspension overhaul, clutch, not the actual clutch but the master cylinder, and putting all back together with all the parts that should have been in there in the first place, and then recommissioning. That doesn't sound like a great deal, but to be honest, I haven't got the money to do that, so it's going for parts. And I have offered it as a complete car, and it's not happening. So, there, that's why. Yes, I put this up as parts last night in my Facebook group, and it was met with quite a few sad faces. But, you know, I can't be responsible for them all, can I? And if I'm going to continue here, doing projects, Nigel, saving whatever cars I can, selling them to people that want to keep them, I've got to make a living. And I can't make a living by spending money that I don't currently have. Now, I already have interest in the boot lid, the one of the doors, the front bumper, the wings, yep, and the rear bumper as well, and possibly the bonnet. Well, I need something else now, and you know what it is, don't you? It begins with T. I'll give you a clue, it ends with T. Yep, cup of tea. But today I have a cup, I have a kettle and water and electricity, and I have milk as well. But what I don't have, tea bags. So it's time for that incredibly long walk to Aldi again. Tea bags purchased. Now, would you like to see what's for dinner today? I'm only showing you because I made it myself. There, it's pasta with yogurt sauce and chipolatas. Not only is it non-vegan today, but it's non-vegetarian as well. Sorry, Peter. As you would come to expect though, it does have mustard in it. Natural yogurt, mustard, paprika. Yeah, it's nice. With a little experience, I have found the best way to properly pull a car apart is from the bottom up. A few times I've had cars up at the other end there, and I basically strip it from the top down, and then I want to get underneath it and it's all full of boggy stuff everywhere and it's just immensely unpleasant. This is unpleasant enough, but at least I've got a concrete floor to work on. Well, that was a very long gap between one bit of video and another, because it's now 4:45. But it's not because I've been doing nothing, it's because I have been doing something. I've been a very busy chap. Another beautiful day here at Project Nigel Land. Things are looking up. This is the kind of sky I want to see every day. Oh look, there's Transitface. Now I did say that I wasn't going to continue videoing the progress of the engine out jobby in the ZT. But, you know, sometimes I change my mind. I would definitely call this engine almost out of the car. But the trouble is, moving it from there, because this ground is very much not suitable for tugging a heavy diesel engine with a heavy crane. I have just noticed there's one pipe I haven't taken off, but that's not been causing me the issue, because that will flex quite a lot. You see, I've got that up in the air, and I've had a good tug on this with both arms and both feet, and basically it's not moving, because either it's too heavy and the ground's too rough, or I'm just a weakling. But anyway, the last part of this episode is going to be taking this completely out, and you can see that the engine is free. I just need to undo that thing there, and then there's a pipe over here I need to cut that I'm not really overly bothered by. And then I think I'm going to enlist the help of Transitface. Yes, Transitface, and its winch can deal with this. Right, so you can probably see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hook the winch up to this and gently tug this back, leaving plenty of room there just in case it falls backwards. Hello, Dodgy. This may well be worthy of tripod face, actually. Well, I still have one of the gear linkages attached to it, which isn't the idea. Okay, that is definitely out of the car. But what now? It's too heavy to move around. I can't stick it on a trolley or anything like that to move around. Even with the engine crane, I can't really move it around. It's just too much. Oh my God. I suppose the question is, does anybody want to buy an M47 engine? Does anybody? Or a gearbox? Or any of its ancillaries? Trouble is, I didn't actually plan what I was doing next with this. I just wanted to get it out so I can finish the shell of this car off. And now I'm just stood here like a lemon. There's a shelf outside that doesn't belong there.